just be keeping coming back to a new review series. And yeah, it is going to be on the Looney Tunes show. I love the Looney Tunes show. And of course I love Looney Tunes as well. And yeah, we are going to be doing a new review series. Just like how I'm doing with the Thundermans, Henry Danger, The Loud House, reviewing my favorite episodes. And yeah, we are starting with the third episode of the first season, Jailbird and Jailbunny. And of course, these will be out of order of the numbers of the episodes of how they're listed, but still, it's going to be reviewing these episodes of my favorite of the Looney Tunes show. And yeah, this one starts with Daffy, Bugs, and Porky at the Grand Canyon. And Porky is just talking about the Grand Canyon, and they're like, maybe they have earplugs in the gift shop. Poor Porky. And Daffy is getting angry how they have 5 Darvins, but no Daffy. And he's saying of how, do you think Daffy is a clever name? Well, it's not. And he says that Darvin is the world's stupidest name. And he says, great name. When he sees a poor little boy, I feel sorry for all the people named Darvin. I think it's a cool name. I think Darvin is a cool name. Daffy just doesn't have pity for anybody. And then he's like, and the soda, I left my wallet at home. I'm sure he left it on purpose. Yeah, I'm sure he left it on purpose. Because, in the Looney Tunes show, he's pretty much a bum. He pretty much just lets Daffy, Bugs take care of himself. And yeah, Bugs got a 101 Grand Canyon jokes. And yeah, Porky didn't even notice that they left. And he's like, I've seen better. And he literally litters. Daffy litters. He throws the empty can of soda down the Grand Canyon. Yeah, he just littered. And we see the park ranger. And he's like, sir, you just threw an empty can of soda down the Grand Canyon. That's littering on federal property. And of course he's like, who are you? I'm a park ranger. Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Darvin, Andrew's son. And then the park ranger is going to take him away. And Porky is like, let's be reasonable. And the park ranger is telling him, buddy, if you don't put some pants on, you're going to be coming with me too. And then, yeah, Daffy is like, let me go and I'll pay you whatever you want. Forgot my wallet. And trying to tell Bugs to pay him whatever he wants. And of course, Bugs isn't doing anything. And he's like, why is the Grand Canyon called the Grand Canyon? Because he thought Gargantuan Canyon made him sound fat. Okay. And he's like, well, if you didn't like that one, I got more. And then we cut to the courtroom and see the park ranger saying then how he threw this empty can of soda down the Grand Canyon. So did he go down and get the can of soda then? And yeah, before Daffy changes or continues, before he says this court is now adjourned, he then says that the fine is $50. That's actually not that bad. I would, of course, pay the fine. I mean, I would never litter like that. I know better not to litter like that. But again, if I were Daffy, I would just pay the fine. Just get the fine and just get it over with. But of course, he has to continue in calling Porky to the court. Or to the seat. And of course, making him all nervous, even though he's not. And calling him that he is the litterer. And of course, he's not. And the judge is like, you not wearing pants? Yeah, again, it's just a running gag for Porky. And the guard is just, security is telling him where the gift shop is. And then we get Bugs in the court. And, yeah, saying that Bugs is the litterer. And he's like, just pay the fine. For real, just pay the fine. And, yeah, the judge is telling them if they don't stop, if they keep it up, he'll hold them both in contempt court. In contempt court, he'll hold them against. And yeah, Daffy is then saying that of how he doesn't like soda. And yeah, he just spits it and Bugs, then they just keep spitting it at each other until the judge is hold them, then places them under arrest. Yeah, to get them put in jail immediately for not cooperating, for doing contempt of court. And yeah, they get arrested and getting taken away. And yeah, Porky comes out saying, "What did I miss?" with some pants on. I mean, Daffy could have avoided all of this. If for one, he could have not littered, right? He could have not littered, and for two, he could have just paid the fine, right? He could have just paid the fine. And yeah, we just then see them at prison and getting their pictures taken too, and them going to get their uniform or their clothes, and seeing this huge guard behind Bugs, and yeah, them in the prison cell. And Bugs is like of how he loves prison, and I hate to say it, but I'm sure there are people in real life that like prison, and yeah, I hope none of y'all that I would know would never go to prison. I certainly don't ever want to. But yeah, he's all chill and positive about everything in the prison, while Daffy is of course the opposite. And yeah, it's time for them to go and eat. And yeah, then he's like, again, Daffy then is obviously going to the point, like, how are you so relaxed? We're in prison, jailed, the big house, we're down the creek. There's no I am tame, you're having to fight your right to party. And then we see that big guy coming again, and Bugs is being so positive to him too, and wondering if he passed the ketchup, and yeah, he just breaks the bottle. And then these guards come over to him before he pounds Daffy and Bugs, and he's like, let me just get this straight. I can insult whoever I please without getting harmed. I should have been thrown in jail years ago. And yeah, we just see him just insulting all these other prisoners while they're walking by him. And yeah, Daffy is like, you gotta get me out of here, the Porky. And like, he can't eat, he can't sleep. He doesn't know what it's like being cut off from the outside world. What year is it? Who's president? And Porky is like, but you've only been in here for one day. And saying that he's got a cake. And of course, Daffy is like, what? Yeah, he just tears the cake. And like, what? No nothing? No crowbar? No sieve? And yeah, while he's complaining, we see a guard behind him. And yeah, Porky is trying to pour it out. And yeah, they get taken away again. And then they get outside hammering rocks. And yeah, Daffy cannot shut his bake. And makes that guy angry. And yeah, almost gets chopped with an axe. And yeah, they end up jumping off of this cliff. And yeah, they end up on this land. And yeah, of course, Daffy is going to go live his life on the lam, while Bugs is saying that he is going to go and turn himself in. But of course, they have the chain on their feet. And yeah, they find this place, this gas station, which yeah, they of course change their appearance so they won't get caught. And yeah, they see a police officer, which of course Bugs is like, of course he's got some business to take care of. And Daffy is telling him, once we get this chain off, you can turn yourself in all you want. And Bugs then again saying that jail is the greatest thing to ever happen to him, and Daffy ain't gonna keep him from it. And then, yeah, going over to the police officer and telling him that it's Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. And he looks at the pictures, and it shows the resemblance. Literally, the resemblance. But, yeah. He's like, I don't see the resemblance. Even though they're doing the exact face. It's just because they're different colored, right? They're blonde. They changed their appearance. And he's like, your personal lives are your business. Stay out of trouble. Yeah. And then they go to this hotel, and of course change their names to Leopold, Wittgenstein, and then Randy. And yeah, of course them arguing with each other in the hotel room, and Daffy just getting rid of Bugs' tattoo. And then we see them at the coffee, or this cafe, and see the police officers come in, and Daffy is like, if you say one word to those cops, I promise to make the rest of your life a living nightmare. And then, yeah, Daffy hands this cop a piece of paper saying we're on the lam, and saying that they're on the lam, but of course they're thinking that you're on the lam, like on a lamb sandwich or something. And yeah, they don't have enough money to stay at the hotel, so they're having to sleep on the roof of on this bathroom. And yeah, it starts raining and it gets rid of their disguises. And yeah, Daffy thinking that he's a wizard, which then we see lightning strike the chains. And of course a police officer catches them, and yep, they go back to jail. And then we see 1 year later, so yeah, they've been in jail for a year. I do not think that you would be, for one, I don't know if you would even go to jail for littering. Yeah, you would get a ticket. I mean, that's the same thing with SpongeBob. They go to jail for littering. I mean, yeah, I guess if you keep on littering, yeah, but if you litter like once or so, I'm not sure how all that is exactly, but yeah, 1 year later, they get freed. And of course, Bugs is not wanting to leave. He is begging to be staying. And of course, Daffy is saying goodbye to all the cellmates. And yeah, Porky is telling Bugs to be happy that they're free, and wondering if Daffy learned his lesson. And he says that he's a changed man. And as he says that, he literally litters again, right next to a police officer. Yep, he throws the can once again, not learning his lesson. And yep, they're about to be pulled over yet again. Daffy. But yeah, a good episode that I enjoy. One of my favorites. But yeah, I'd like to know what y'all think. Let me know in the comments. Catch you next one.